her. Being a public servant, can't think of anything better to do. I am Mary Mosiman. I am your state auditor, so I like making sure that my main message has been, I'm the only CPA running for state auditor, and guess what? That matters if you want your state auditor's office to audit. So, we do have some tough opponents out there. You might have noticed the last few weeks there's a lot of rhetoric on advertisements. Don't believe everything you read, don't believe everything you hear. A lot of it is completely false information. But that being said, if you want the state auditor's office to audit, the elected state auditor does need to be a CPA. Otherwise, we will have a figurehead who would have to be outsourcing all the audit work to private CPA firms. We know that'll have financial consequences. A very conservative estimate would be $5 million more per year in audit service fees if the state auditor's office is no longer able to audit, which we've been doing for almost 40 consecutive years. The governor of Iowa, Kim Reynolds, Adam Gray, they have been saying, let's keep Iowa moving forward. I want to keep the state auditor's office moving forward. If the last time we didn't have a CPA leading the state auditor's office was 1979, so I don't want to see the state auditor's office going back to the 1970s. I want to keep the auditor's office working on behalf of you, the people of I'm honored to work with in the auditor's office. We frequently say, in God we trust. Everybody else we audit. So also very thrilled to be here to help support our statewide team. Mike Naig, Mr. Iowa Agriculture, Joni Ernst. I know she's not on the ballot, but who cannot support Joni Ernst? Making sure our federal government is working for you, making sure our state is working for you. And now let me introduce Mr. Iowa Agriculture, Mike Naig.
Thank you, Mary. Appreciate it. This has been a fun day.
Yeah. And it's not over.
It's not over yet. We're on the Victory Express here. We got a whistle stop tour going on. It's been a great fun today, and we've seen people all up down this track. You know, what I've been liking is seeing, we're looking at Iowa agriculture out these windows too. Now, it's a little rainy, I understand, but you know, we'd like to be doing some harvesting today, I think, it's a little bit here, but we're still getting a chance to see that, and it is just a tremendous honor to be able to serve as your Secretary of Agriculture. And, you know, God made Iowa for agriculture. Would you agree? And we can't take that for granted, right? We need to make sure that we're building the conditions that will allow our farmers and our businesses the chance to thrive and grow. And so it matters who you send to Washington, D.C. to represent your interests. It matters who you send to Des Moines to represent your interests. It even matters who you send to your courthouse to represent your interests. And that we, you know, again, work to build those conditions. We need to make sure we've got markets for our products. International trade is important, so does our domestic markets like E15. Thank you very much. Right? Livestock and making sure we're taking care of our natural resources. If Iowa's economy is built on agriculture and agriculture is built on our natural resources, then we've got to protect our soil and water. And then the final piece, making sure that we're building the workforce to supply the jobs that are available today, but also the jobs of tomorrow as well. So those are the things that I'm working on and thinking about and working together with this great team to keep moving us forward. I want to also mention, Mary mentioned it, it is a tremendous honor to run on a statewide ticket that includes Mary Mosiman, includes Paul Pate, our Secretary of State. Paul wants to make it easy to vote and hard to cheat, right? And Jeremy Davis, our candidate for State Treasurer. Jeremy make a tremendous advocate for the taxpayer. Thrilled to be able to run and support Governor Reynolds. You know, she is proof that with hard work, anything is possible. And she's working hard to keep Iowa moving. So let's hear it for our governor. I'm thrilled to be able to work alongside and to support Congressman Young here. And we know that when we have a united voice, that it's hard to ignore Iowa, right? And so it's important to keep that voice, and we'll continue to work to move this state forward. So now I get a chance to introduce, and we're headed towards her hometown here, right? Our wonderful, our great Senator Joni Ernst.
Great to see so many good friends here in Cass County. Thank you so
so much. It is an honor and a privilege to be out today on this Whistle Stop tour with so many of our Republican candidates. We started the day with our 43rd governor of the great state of Iowa, Kim Reynolds, on this tour, and I'm just proud to be able to say that I will support her just through and through. We are doing so well as a state in the United States, ranked #1 by U.S. News and World Report. And it's because of her leadership that we've been able to accomplish a great number of these things. But it takes collaboration in order to achieve that. Her leadership and a great team on board from the top of the ticket all the way down to our local government officials. We're all pulling together in the same direction. We've got a great slate of candidates here. Mr. Agriculture himself, Mike Naig, so proud to support him. My dear friend from our old county auditor, I shouldn't say old, from our county auditor days, Mary Mosiman, the only CPA in the race, so proud to support her. But then at the federal level as well, we really have to work together. And that's where the beauty of this election cycle is really starting to shine through, is the fact that we are doing so well as a state. But it is because our state and local officials are working with those at the federal level to bring it all together. So part of that is the next person that I'm going to introduce to you, who is David Young, and I'll tell you just a little bit about David. And I've known him for a number of years, and I'm so proud to support him because he is a man that gets things done, folks. Veteran, and I understand how important veterans issues are, and David gets that too. He really cares about people, and when there is something wrong that's brought to his attention, he is all over it right away. So when we had an issue with the Veterans Crisis Line, this is the line that veterans are calling when they really need help. That line wasn't working. And it was brought to David's attention, and he got all over that, and folks, he got that issue fixed. Right away, he got it fixed. So there are other issues that David's been able to work on as well, and he cares about people. We've heard today that healthcare is a big issue, and David cares about that, and that's why he's worked hard to protect those that have pre-existing conditions. It's very important in our society that we take care of those that are most vulnerable. So I appreciate that David has the heart to do that. One of the other issues, and of course around this area, and you just have to look not too far from here to see how important our biofuels industry is. Okay, we've got a great new ethanol plant coming up here in Atlantic. And David has been part of that team pushing the administration for E15 year-round. And what did the president just announce a couple weeks ago? He is pushing E15 year-round. Thank you. So it is because of the results that David gets. I am so proud to support him. I am glad to be his constituent down there in Red Oak, Iowa. But it is my great privilege and honor today to announce to you our current Congressman of the 3rd District and our next Congressman of the 3rd District, David.
Thank you so much for being here today. I know you have busy lives outside of all this, but you chose to be here today. Not necessarily for us, but you care about your future, right?
Yeah.
You care about what's happening in the United States of America, in your state, in your district, in your community. We took a track down here to get to y'all because we believe that the 3rd District, the state, this country, that we are on the right track.
That's right.
There's an economic renaissance going on out there. And on the world stage, America, again, is that shining city on the hill, right? True leadership up and down, from the federal to the most local level of government here in our great country and great state. And we need to keep that going. Results matter, right?
Yes.
What's happening with the unemployment rate at 2.5% in Iowa? Lowest unemployment rate in the country in the last 50 years. 250,000 jobs produced last month alone. Iowans are keeping more of their hard-earned dollars. You deserve to keep more of your hard-earned dollars because you work so hard for it. You know how to spend it better than your family does, right? I mean, on your family than the federal government does, right? You know how to spend your dollars. You deserve it. Look at what's happening internationally, the partnership that we've had with this administration, the Iran agreement, no more. Sitting down with North Korea, rebuilding our military, which had been decimated for the past 8 years under President Obama. Peace through strength, a strong military, not because we want to go to war, but just in case we have to use that might, we'll get the job done. And that might, we can intimidate others as well, right? By not messing around with us. Making sure our veterans have the protection that they need. So we're headed the right direction. Elections matter, you know that. That's why you're here today. My opponent is a handpicked candidate of someone named Nancy Pelosi. Maybe you've heard of her. 2 words that should cause you some consternation and panic maybe in your life. Speaker Pelosi. Everything that we've done, she wants to reverse. And so do her handpicked candidates. My opponent says she can't disagree with anything that Nancy Pelosi stands for and that is part of her agenda. So what is that? First thing they want to do, they want to take your money away from you. Because they said they want to repeal the tax relief and tax cuts. That's your money. They've talked about open borders and eliminating ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement. What has ICE helped us do? Stop human traffickers, stop fentanyl and heroin from coming across our borders, stop illegal weapons. I think we are a sovereign nation and we need to protect our borders. Because the first oath that I took was to this Constitution to protect her people. So elections matter, you know that. Mike said something about harvesting. It's unfortunately that we can't get as much harvesting today outside with the crops. But we can harvest some votes in here, right? That's important because the elections matter, you know that. This election matters a lot. It's a tight race. It's always been a tight race. In 2014, they called this a competitive race and a toss-up, and we won. We won by 11 points. In 2016, they said, another competitive race in the 3rd district. It's a toss-up. We won by 14 points. Well, deja vu, they're saying that again. Competitive race, toss-up. We're going to get through the victory line, so we can't do it without your help. Banging on the doors. Making sure you vote, your loved ones vote. You found one person to vote last time. Take that times 5. Get 5 people. Make the phone calls. Put the signs up still. It all matters. Results and not resistance and reversing the great prosperity that we've had the past few years. You know the promise that I've made you. And I always remember who the boss is. You. When I first ran for Congress, well, I was running against her for Senate for one thing. But then I got out of that and ran. Who couldn't get out of that? She was making me squeal. But I remember being down in Fremont County, in Hamburg, at Popcorn Days, in a parade. And I asked the gentleman for a vote. He said, sure. And then I'll see you in 2 years, David. Now I know what he was getting at. That those who run and only come around when it's time to ask for the vote. And I said to myself, that's not going to be me. I'm going to develop a real relationship with the people that I want to serve and who hopefully will be my bosses. And it worked out. That's why I go to every county every month. And I get in front of anybody and everybody. Republicans, Democrats, Independents, Green Party, whatever. Because people want a voice. And my commitment is to continue to be that voice for the people here in the 3rd District. Because when the big issues come up, I don't want to guess what this district is. I want to know. I'll continue to do that. Vote, get out there, get it done. This blue wave they talk about, There's a red dam out there, don't you think? So let's do it together. And just remember how this all started. Our founding fathers fleeing the monarchy, the crown, for search of freedom, for just liberty and freedom. The great Constitution we have, our rights, our liberties, given to us by God and not man. We're keeping that going. So this next generation will see the fulfillment of that vision and the promise that was made. Let's get it done. Let's bring it home in 3 days. Let's get it done. Let's bring it home. God bless you.